The desert had a way of swallowing secrets. Ethan Cole knew that better than any man alive. He had ridden these lands since he was 16. His boots cracked by dust, his skin burned dark by the unforgiving sun. His ranch sat alone at the edge of the red plains, nothing but sand, thorny brush, and silence stretching for miles. The cottage he lived in was small, built of old timber and stone, its roof bent by years of desert wind. Horses were his only neighbors. The land was his only witness. That morning the wind felt wrong. Ethan slowed his horse, Ranger, as they crested a low ridge. The sun hung heavy, turning the sand into burning copper. That was when he saw her. A woman collapsed near a dry mesquite tree. Ethan jumped down before Ranger fully stopped. His hand hovered near his revolver, instinct screaming caution. Out here, nothing appeared without reason. He approached slowly. "Ma'am," he called. Her head lifted slightly. Dust clung to her hair, dark and tangled. Her dress, once blue, was torn at the hem, stained with blood and sand. "Don't," she whispered. Ethan stepped closer. "Don't look there." Her hand trembled as she pointed behind him, toward the wide, empty stretch of desert. Ethan turned anyway, and froze. In the distance, barely visible through the heat haze, 3 riders stood still, not moving, watching. Their horses were black, their hats pulled low. One of them raised his hand slowly, as if waving. Ethan felt ice crawl up his spine. By the time he turned back, the woman had fainted. He lifted her carefully, placing her on Ranger's back, and rode hard for the cottage. She woke near dusk. The cottage smelled of leather, wood smoke, and coffee. Outside, horses shifted nervously. Ethan sat at the table cleaning his rifle. She stared at him like a trapped animal. "Who are you?" she asked. "Ethan Cole," he replied. "You're safe. For now." Her eyes flicked to the window. "They followed me," she said. "They always do." Ethan didn't speak. She swallowed. "My name is Lillian Hart." The name hit him like a hammer. Hart. The same family rumored to have stolen gold from half the outlaw gangs in the territory. The same family massacred years ago. "You're supposed to be dead," Ethan said. Her lips trembled. "So was I." Outside, a horse neighed sharply. Ethan stood. Someone was out there. The first shot shattered the night. Ethan dove as the window exploded inward. Wood splintered. Lillian screamed. Ethan rolled, fired back, and dragged her behind the table. "Stay down!" he yelled. Boots thundered outside. Shadows moved against the lantern glow. The door burst open. A man stepped inside, tall, scarred, eyes cold as the desert night. "Evening, Cole," the man said. "Long time." Ethan recognized him instantly. Caleb Voss, outlaw, killer, ghost from Ethan's past. "You should have stayed buried," Ethan growled. Caleb smiled. "Funny, I was thinking the same about her." Lillian stood suddenly, gun shaking in her hand. "You murdered my family," she cried. Caleb laughed. "No, I spared you." "You ran," Ethan fired. The fight was chaos. Gunfire, fists, blood on the cottage floor. Horses screamed outside. The lantern fell, flames licking the walls. Ethan took a knife to the shoulder but kept moving. He tackled Caleb into the dirt outside. They fought under the moon, dust rising like smoke. Caleb whispered, teeth bloody, "She ain't who you think, Cole." Ethan hesitated. That hesitation almost killed him. Lillian fired the final shot. Caleb fell still. Silence returned. Later, as dawn broke, Lillian sat beside Ethan on the porch. His shoulder was bandaged. Her hands shook. "There's something you need to know," she said. He looked at her. "My family didn't steal the gold," she whispered. "You did." Ethan closed his eyes. "Years ago. Another life. Another mistake. I hid it," he said. "To stop men like him?" She stared at him. Anger, heartbreak, understanding colliding. Then she leaned forward and kissed him. The desert wind carried the past away, but far off a lone rider watched and smiled. The desert never truly slept. Ethan felt it before he saw it, the shift in the air, the horses growing restless, the way the wind carried a low, warning hum across the sand. Dawn had barely broken when Ranger stamped hard near the fence. Ears pinned back, eyes fixed on the eastern ridge. Lillian stepped onto the porch, her shawl tight around her shoulders. "They're coming back," she said quietly. Ethan didn't ask how she knew. Out here, instinct was truth. He saddled 2 horses in silence. The cottage still smelled faintly of smoke and blood, scars from the night before etched into its walls. Caleb Voss was dead, but men like him never rode alone. They multiplied like shadows at sunset. "We can't stay," Ethan said. "If Voss had scouts?" "He did," Lillian cut in. 3 of them. Same ones I warned you about. Ethan paused, tightening the cinch. "The ones you said not to look at." Her eyes darkened. "Because once you do, they don't forget you." They rode out together, heading south where the land broke into gullies and stone fingers clawed up from the earth. The sun rose behind them, painting their shadows long and thin across the sand. After an hour, Ranger slowed. Ethan raised a fist. "Tracks. Fresh. 4 horses. Heavy loads. They're carrying something," Ethan muttered. Lillian slid from her saddle and crouched, touching the sand. "They're not hunting us," she said. "They're going to the old heartland." Ethan's jaw tightened. The ruins lay beyond. Dead Man's Basin, where Lillian's family had been slaughtered. Where the truth had been buried. "Why now?" he asked. "Because Caleb failed," she said. "And because the gold still exists." Ethan looked at her sharply. She met his gaze without flinching. "I know you hid it. I just don't know where." Before he could answer, a rifle cracked. Sand exploded inches from Ethan's boot. "Down!" he shouted. They dove as bullets ripped through the quiet. Ethan rolled behind a rock, outcrop firing back. Lillian crawled beside him, eyes sharp, movement steady. Too steady for a woman who'd supposedly been running her whole life. "You ever fired a rifle before?" Ethan asked between shots. "Yes," she said, calm. "At men who deserved it?" 3 riders crested the ridge, black hats, dark coats, faces hidden by dust scarves. The same men. One of them raised his hand again. Ethan's stomach clenched. "Don't look there," Lillian whispered urgently. Too late. Ethan locked eyes with the rider and felt something cold crawl through him. The man's gaze wasn't angry or fearful. It was knowing. Like he already owned Ethan's fate. The rider pointed past Ethan toward Dead Man's Basin. Then the men turned and rode away. Just like that. Silence returned, broken only by the wind. "They wanted us to see them," Ethan said. "Yes," Lillian replied. "They want us to follow." Ethan exhaled slowly. "Then we end this." By noon, they reached the basin. Broken stones marked where a house once stood. The ground felt heavy, soaked with old sorrow. Lillian dismounted and walked alone to the center, kneeling. Her fingers brushed the earth. "My mother died here," she said, begging them to let me run. Ethan stood behind her, guilt pressing hard against his ribs. "I should have come back," he said. "I should have told the truth." She looked up at him, eyes shining, not with tears, but resolve. "You're here now." A sound echoed, slow clapping. The riders stepped from behind the rocks. Not 3, 5. Their leader pulled down his scarf. Ethan's breath caught. The man was older, but familiar. "You?" Ethan whispered. The man smiled. "Hello, Cole. Miss me?" It was Jonah Pike, the lawman who had helped Ethan hide the gold years ago. The one man Ethan trusted. "You betrayed us," Ethan said. Jonah shrugged. "Law don't feed a man forever." Guns rose. Tension snapped tight. Lillian stepped forward. "You want the gold?" She said, "It's not buried." "It's moving." Jonah narrowed his eyes. Ethan turned to her. "What did you do?" She met his stare. "I finished what you started." And then she whistled. From the canyon walls, horses thundered, wild, unbroken, dragging crates hidden beneath brush and stone. The gold wasn't buried. It was alive, moving, uncatchable. Gunfire erupted. Dust, screams, chaos. Ethan fought like a man with nothing left to lose. Lillian rode like fire, fearless, unstoppable. Together they pushed through the storm, back to back. Hearts pounding, trust forged in blood. When it ended, Jonah Pike lay wounded, staring up at the sky. "You could have ruled this land," he spat. Ethan looked down at him. "No, we set it free." As the sun dipped low, Ethan and Lillian rode away from the basin, the desert swallowing the past once more. But far behind them, a wounded lawman smiled. Because secrets never stay buried forever.